You're welcome again to my channel, and I'm glad that you're always willing to join me on my vlogs. Thank you. And today's video is no different, but I am going to be sharing with you the different types of accommodation that you can find here in Canada if you're looking to renting a place as an immigrant moving to Canada, or you're already here moving from one apartment to the other, the kind of apartments or the kind of houses that you can rent from, and the rental process. So if this sounds interesting to you, keep watching, guys, and I'm going to break it down in details for you to understand. In Canada, when you are looking to rent a place, there are different kinds of apartments or homes that you can rent from. I will start with the apartments. And in the apartment, there are a couple of blocks of buildings that look alike, and they are massive in such a way that they are the same, looking alike in blocks of buildings with open parking lots where you can park your cars. They don't come with garages. You can find an open spot. You can plug in your vehicle in the winter where you can charge your car. And these are open buildings, really. They come in 1 bed, 2 bed, and sometimes 3 bedrooms. And these are a bit of like startup places for new immigrants to find accommodation, because they are not as expensive as you may think. Some of these apartments come with in-house laundry for you in your suite. Some come with the shared laundry, which you can find on each floor. So everyone on the same floor will have those washing machines that they can go and access when they need to. Some you have to pay using coins to be able to access those laundry. So they're just various kinds that you find. In apartments, you can find gyms where you can go work out. So this is incorporated in your rental. You don't have to pay for it anymore. So when you want to go exercise, you can just walk into that gym and go exercise. So this you can find in apartments. Apartments also come in condos. They come in like bachelor suites, in which if you are not looking for something really big, you can find such that can accommodate your needs. So it's in condos, and also in condos you'll be paying condo fees, such as helping you to clear the snow, helping you with your garbage, helping you with some community things that you don't need to do. If you own a house by yourself, you'll be doing all these things yourself. So you pay a condo fee, they call it a condo fee, that helps you take that burden off you, really, but you are paid for it. They help you to clear all those things that you don't need to do yourself. So you pay those fees to do that, and those you can find with condos. And in condos also you can find bachelor suite, like I mentioned. Apartment, generally, with the going rates of how cost of homes are right now, you can really find a 1 bedroom for between 1,100 to 1,250, and a 2 bedroom can go as much as like 1,350 to 1,400, 1,500, 1,600. And some of them come with underground parking. Some you have to pay for those if they come with underground parking for one spot, and if you are paying for extra spots, they'll be charging you from $50 to $70 or $80, depends on those locations, for an extra parking per month. Let's move next to the townhouses that come in semi-detached houses or duplex houses. And when you talk about semi-detached, these are like houses that are built together as well. They are not as many as apartments, but you can have two houses. They have their separate entrances. It's like a flip of each other. Those are semi-detached homes. And they also come in 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, 3 bedrooms, and some of them come like in a form of a duplex. Some come with basements that are not rentable because they don't have legal suites, in such a way that their entrances, they don't have an external access from outside, so you can't rent out those basements. So they come in the suite, and they're high-rise, 2 levels. You can get into the main floor, go upstairs to the next floor, and then the basement on the ground floor. So those are semi-detached. And for duplexes, like the bigger version of the semi-detached. So here is a standalone house. And for standalone homes, you can have them as legal suites, whereby you can have access to the basement from the outside. So you can let those ones out if you want to rent and earn income from those. Those are standalone duplexes. And some are not legal suites. Some don't want legal suites, and they can use those basements for their personal use or offices, or some use it for gym, some use it for theater, some use it for play area for the kids. So many things you can use your basement for. Duplexes come in that version as well, but they are bigger. They take more land spaces because they are bigger, and some of those duplexes have their garages attached to them. Some have detached garages, they are at the back of the building. So there are just different ways in which construction go. But duplexes are standalone homes, and most of them usually have their garages in front of them. So let's talk about costs. Costs for standalone homes or duplexes actually depends for rentals. So it depends on the area as well, whether in the east, in the west, in the north, and the province. But I'm going to talk about Saskatchewan here. Prices are, they are high, but they are still better than other provinces that are on the really high rate because of the competition. And I know that if you're buying homes in other provinces like Toronto, you'll be bidding for that. We don't bid here in Saskatchewan. So if you have your money in your pocket, not like all the money, if you already have approval from the bank to finance your building, then you are good to go if the owner wants to sell the house to you or the builder wants to sell the homes to you, and you have capacity to pay. So that's the only thing that we have here in Saskatchewan, right? So for rental, if you're renting a duplex, you'll probably be paying as much as like 3,500 or 3,000 and above per month. And this is if it's a 3-bedroom. Obviously a duplex will come in a 3-bedroom because they are bigger homes, and it comes with their basements inclusive. So you'll be paying above those amounts for you renting. For a semi-detached will come a little bit lower because they are slightly smaller in square feet, and yeah, they also have almost all the features of a duplex, but they are just shared buildings and they are smaller than that. So it also depends on those that are renting and how much they are charging for it. And like I said, it depends on which side of the city that you are. Homes are really more pricey in the east than in the west and than in the north. So it depends on where you are and how much you are willing to also give away if you have budget for so much more. Talking about standalone homes, they are also what they call bi-level homes. These are also homes that they stand alone. It's like a standalone, but they are not a totally, I won't call them a duplex in itself, because the apartments are a bit different. You can also have like an access from the side to the basement. Some have those accesses, some don't. And why it's called a bi-level is because it just has one level, then the basement. So you go up in one level, and everything on the floor is where the rooms are, where the sitting rooms are, where the living room and the kitchen, everything is there. And then the basement. So those are bi-level homes. They are pretty cheaper than the semi-detached and the detached or the single homes. And yeah, they're just a bit smaller and they're less expensive too. And like I mentioned, I want to also say it again here: if you need accommodation, if you're moving to Canada, to Saskatoon particularly, let me know. If you need help, this is a service I provide for immigrants. If you need help, it's a paid service, and I'll be able to help you find what you need. Where I cannot live, I will not rent for you. That is always my motto. So as many people that I've helped out, they can attest to this, that they love where I got for them. So if you need help with that, let me know and I'll be willing to help you. We can move it off from there. Now let's talk about the basement suite. I mentioned while I was talking about the basement, if you have a semi-detached, if you have a detached, if you have a bi-level homes, there are basements attached to some of these homes, and you can rent basement. I know new immigrant, based on what I do, helping immigrants to find accommodation here, they say they don't want basement, they don't want basement. If you're going to be renting an accommodation in a duplex, in a semi-detached, these are, you'll find basements that are available for you to rent for. So you don't have any choice but to rent from a basement. And renting a basement is not bad. Is a semi-detached will probably have a 1 bedroom basement. It depends on the size, and it can be two, but they will come in smaller rooms. If it's a duplex, then you are sure that you can get a 2 bedroom, depend on the square feet as well. And some even have up to 3 bedrooms, depend on the square feet. Some have 1 bed. So it also varies based on the size of the building. So basement suites are not bad at all. They are not bad. I know some people feel they feel enclosed in a space where they can't see anywhere. They have windows. They have where you can see whether it's snowing, it's raining, or although they are smaller windows, but they're still good for you. I'll show you a bit of our own basement. I'll link in the description box above our basement suites when we're currently using it for Airbnb, so I'll link it there for you to go watch what it looks like. It's not bad at all. Yes, you're going down, but hey, it is a house. So you can rent there, and those basement suites are not that expensive compared to apartments. So if you know what I mean, if you're renting a 2 bedroom basement suite, you probably will be paying about 1.4, 1.5 ish. It depends on how it is. But if you are renting an apartment, you'll probably be paying something around that amount or even more. And with a basement, you have so many things to you. You know, you have your laundry, you have all that. You are not afraid that you'll probably be sharing laundry with somebody else in an apartment, for instance. And sometimes the landowner might be so magnanimous that they can share Wi-Fi with you for free. You know, of course, there's water for free, heat too might be for free, and all those things that you can enjoy in a basement suite. And the security, you're also living with, you're living in a very good area rather than in a, I call it Duplex area, where there are so many same kind of homes in that area. So with the different kind of designs, you can find different kind of basement suites that you want to rent. And to me, basements are really nice. It's a good place to start. You don't have to spend so much. And I know that some landowners too, some of them even make it easier for, especially if you're newcomers, or maybe not new too. Some put in, like, if you remember, or if you know that most of the people that bought homes have been tenants somewhere else, so they don't give up those furniture. They probably put them in their basement to help out those that are renting. So you might find some, maybe sofa or maybe a bed, so that takes that away from you. Won't take it away where they are living, but at least you have something for you to start off when you move into that accommodation. There's also what we call the shared suites, where you are able to share accommodation with some people even in the basement area. But I remember some students had a place where they shared. Some landlords will want students or single people, individuals, to rent one room in the basement. So the basement, if it's a 2 bed or a 3 bed, they want each individual to have one room. Then they have the common spaces as their own. So you're not paying so much. At the time, I remember about 5 years ago, someone was paying about 400 per room, which is kind of good, and you have everything to yourself. But you guys have to be like-minded. You know, you have to put a roster together, how to wash the bathrooms, how to take care of the general spaces, to clean the fridge and all that. But if you are renting together, if you know yourself, you can come together as two, as three, and rent that basement. And honestly, it is very economical for you, even as students, whereby you can get a cheaper place that you can rent. I'm talking about students and rentals. Even in the universities or colleges where you want to study, there are accommodations there for you, but they are not always enough. So within the community around the school, there are residents whereby you can rent places, and most of these residents are, they accommodate students, and the apartments, they come in apartments or shared suites, whereby you find almost everywhere there are just students living there. So you can also rent per room, and everybody is living or sharing the common spaces in those places. So those apartments are occupied by students. So if you're a student and you're looking for accommodation, you're looking for somewhere close to the school, your university or your polytechnic, the accommodations around there that you can rent. And you can find that if you're looking for a 1 bedroom, usually it might be difficult because you don't know who you'll be living with. So you just need to be open-minded and just trust that you find a good person to live with. But it's a good start for you. And if you need this, this is one of the services that I provide for anyone that are looking to move to Saskatoon, If you need an accommodation, I provide that service. The link is in the description box. You can send me an email or send me a DM on my Instagram handle that you need help. Then I'll send you the process it entails for you to get in touch with me, get onto a consultation meeting. Then I can start to find where you would like to live. Finally, there's what we call the homestay, whereby some families take in students. They probably have extra rooms in their homes and they want to accommodate students. They know that students are also indigent individuals, that they need help. Sometimes their parents can afford tuition, but hey, even the tuition is not affordable. But at least they've tried a bit and they need them to pay for their accommodation, pay for their feeding. And this is a lot for students that are on full-time academics here. Some of their programs also have restrictions on the hours that they can work. So those hours cannot really pay for their living expenses, for them to feed, and all those things. And they need help. Some individuals or families can actually take in students, and you need to find them. I don't know anyone who does it. I know in the past someone that took in a student that stayed with them for almost about 2 years until she settled in. Then she was able to rent that shared basement that I talked about. So that is one thing that is going to help students. At least you'll be paying nothing, but you must be of best behavior. If you are going to be living with a family and they are going to be taking you as their own child, you must be of best behavior, not to be going contrary to their own rules of engagement in their home, because of course, like their own child, they will have rules for you living in their home. Okay, if you have already rented and you're in Canada here, let me know what other accommodation that I've missed out, if any. But let me know in the comment section what kind of accommodation are available here in Canada that people can still know and begin to look forward to. If you have not watched my rental series, I've always done a house tour on accommodations that have gone around to take a view of. I will link it also here for you to go check out, so you'll be able to see what types of homes are available here in Canada. And I've also done a series on mortgage. If you are looking to buying a home here in Canada, please go and watch that video as well. What it takes for you to buy a house in Canada, all that is needed for you to know. Please watch that video as well. It's important for you as a newcomer. Now that we've talked about the types of buildings and homes that are available for rental, let's talk about the process of rental, and that's where I come in. And I want to break it down for you to also understand the process for you when I say that you need to give time. When you're moving to Saskatoon as an immigrant and you need help with accommodation, don't jump on the bus, or don't send me a message that you're landing in 2 weeks and you need help. I'm not going to help you, because there's no way I'm going to help you. It takes time, and you're not the only one looking for an accommodation, and that's why we need time ahead. And there's this turn of 1 month for you to get an accommodation. Sometimes there are homes available mid-month, but it's not really the norm. It actually kicks off the first of the month to the end of the month, and that's the turn, and you need time to be able to find one. The first thing I will say is, what is your budget? You need to have a budget, and that budget again is dependent on what the prevailing rates are, because you need to be able to say, this is what I want, this is the kind of place I want. Do I want an accommodation, an apartment building? Do I want a condo? Do I want a shared space? And then we'll be able to match it with your budget, because those kind of apartments have their going rate. So if your budget is low, then it is low. You need to be able to step up and understand how much those areas are going for before we can help you. So what is your budget? You must have a reasonable budget for where you want to stay. And don't, like an immigrant, I always say, learn to start small. Don't want to come and start on a high scale, because see, when you start paying month one, month two, and you are not even getting job yet, you feel you brought in a lot of money, you convert it to card, and the thing becomes very small, and you barely can feed. That way you see that, look, your accommodation is taking the chunk of your money. So start small, so at least when you stabilize, you get a job, you know that yes, this is what my income looks like, and then I can accommodate as much as this. And then you can even find something better if that initial one doesn't work for you for long term. But there are so many steps that would help you to be able to make that decision. So the first thing we'll do is to check listings for you. In Canada, there are listing sites where accommodation that are posted daily, individual, even on Facebook Marketplace. The companies that are leasing are also posting on their website. If you search on Google, you find a range of all this. Some are not open to you because you are not in Canada. Some, and that's why it's easy for me to find them when you cannot find some of them. So listings are posted. You'll be able to look at those listings. Some of them will require you to fill forms online, indicate what kind of bedroom sizes you want, 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, the amount. You look at the area that you want it. It depends on, they would have posted it anyway. You see the address, whether it's in the east, in the west, and you'll be able to say, okay, this is what I want. So that's the first step. You have to review the listing, look at the amenities involved, what are in the listing. Is it something I'm comfortable with? Am I comfortable with sharing laundry? Am I comfortable with living in the west? Am I comfortable with, okay, I'm going to be paying the heat myself? Am I going to be paying insurance too? Because you have to pay home insurance as well. So those things are the things you'll find on the listing. Some of them will also tell you that they don't accept you having pets. So if you have pets, then you can't live in those kind of buildings. So the listing will say so much, and that already screens out you if some things does not apply. Okay, after you have been able to go through the listing and you feel I'm okay with all this, then you have to book a viewing or you book a home tour. That's what we call, some home tours you can do them online, some you have to go in person. I go in person if I'm going to help you find accommodation. I would rather go in person so I can see myself exactly what is on the listing. Some, yeah, on the listing you find the building design, you find the interior, you find the pictures. But hey, I've gone to a particular house before that the pictures that I saw was nothing near to what was on ground. It was a shadow of what was on ground. And I told this lady, I said, I'm not going to rent this place for you because I cannot live here. It was a mess. So sometimes the pictures don't show exactly what is on ground. So I would rather do a viewing for you. If possible, I can record. Some of those apartments or buildings are already occupied. Like somebody is already giving a 1 month notice that they are moving out. So there are things there. So I might not be able to record for those kind of places, but the ones that are empty, I do a video recording. I tell them I have to record this for my clients so they can see if they like it. So I do a video recording and I send it to those that reach out to me, that this is what you want, do you like this one? So we have to book a viewing for those places, and then we look at the environment, look at the proximity for you, whatever you want. But I also tell people that, look, in Canada here, there's so much proximity that you need. Everybody says they want to be near a school, they want to be near a grocery store, they want to be near the market, they want to be near the bus. If everybody's near all these places, then there will not be any house elsewhere. There's still access for you to get to these places. So that's one thing you must know. Don't worry if you are not on top of the bus station, you are not living on top of the grocery store, you will still get to the grocery store. Don't worry. But the bottom line is for you to be able to find where is accessible for you for all the things that you will be able to access. So we'll do that viewing for you, and that's what is important renting. After the viewing and you like what you see, the next thing for you to do is to apply for the renter. But remember that you're not the only one looking. So if you waste time, you are OYO on your own. What is important is apply. If you feel that at least it meets about 90% of what you're looking for, just apply and be on the waiting list. Sometimes they put you on the waiting list. Keep applying for as many of those listings that you see that you like. Just apply. Some of them will now reach out to you and they ask for documents, for their list of documents that they need to be sure that you can rent. If you're already living in town, they need your employment letter, they need your pay slip or your bank account that shows that they pay you salary, to be sure that at least this person is earning money. You must show that you worked there for a couple of months and all of that. And if you are coming from out of country, they need your bank account stating that you can pay. Worst of it is that some companies that even rent homes are looking for times 2.5 of the rental per year, because they just feel that as you are an immigrant moving to a new country, with the exchange rates, it already depreciates the money that you are bringing in. And if you cannot afford to pay for your rent for 1 year. They won't take the money from you, mind you, but they want to see it in the account that you have ability to pay for it. I don't like the idea, because when I go to those places, I'm upset and I'm saying RRCC did not ask for this. They only asked for, you're asking for 2.5 or 2 times 2. But RRCC is like the one part of it. Family of 4 have this amount as POF and you are asking for times 2 of it. That is crazy. But well, there are other places that don't ask for that. At least they want the amount of what the cost of the rent is. You must have it times 12 in your bank account to show that you have ability to pay for it. And that's what they want to see, to be able to give you access, or go further in with your documentation for you renting an apartment or a house. So that's one thing you must put in mind when you are renting. That's already said, if approved, your applications are approved when you submit all the documents that you need. They want to know how many people are going to be living in there. Sometimes they ask for your passport. If you're coming out of country, they want to see, so many things really. And then you sign a lease of agreement, and this lease encompasses everything: your names, your age, your occupation. Sometimes they want guarantors for you if you have not started working. But if you don't have guarantors, that's where that bank statement really comes to get. If you have more than what they are looking for, then that should suffice. But if you don't have, some will ask for co-signer. If you have somebody already in Saskatoon or in Canada that can co-sign for you, to guarantee that if you default, they can take the money from this other person. That secures you renting. So there are various options that are available. But as an immigrant that is coming out of country, just know that your money in your bank account is really important, and you must have enough to show that you have capacity to pay. Next, you've been approved, you've leased, then you need to pay a deposit. Some apartments or buildings will ask for a 1 month full deposit, like you're paying for 2 months rent. That's your first month and your last month. Some will just take a fraction, like apartments really, they take a fraction of the month of the rental amount. Some of them will ask for like $70 something or $150 as your deposit fee, instead of asking for a full month rent, which is 2 months. And that full month really serves as your last month rent anyway. So at the end of they don't take it. But if you are moving out, it's like a damage caution fee. If they have any concerns with anything in the building when you move out, they fix it, and then they pay you the difference from your deposit, so that at least they are not chasing you for money at that point. So they need to fix whether you've broken a window or you spoiled a tile or your bathroom, anything really that they need to fix that. So that's why when you rent, you need to bring up issues with your landowner if there are concerns, anything that has gone bad. Some might just have degenerated due to subsequent use, so they change that. It's not on you. But some things, if you keep it to yourself, hey, you're going to pay for it at the end of you moving out. You need to get an insurance, home insurance for renting. Homeowners would insist on that, because that also guarantees, insurance now. You need to insure where you live. Anything can happen. So please do all those things that are needful for you as a renter. And the home is yours for 1 year. Most of the time you lease for 1 year. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you in my next vlog. Bye for now.